I'm the wild grandma in the house. But I'm not from the Wild West. And I'll share stories, funny stories, that all of you could enjoy. When I think about my good stories, if I tell you about my whole life, you'll hear about all my stories. But my son's very nice and everything, but I must put makeup on and get myself together. And, I'll come up with stories for you. I'll make you giggle and laugh. You hear me?
Why don't you give them one quick one? Tell them about the Salvation Army when you were in school.
Oh, okay. He wants me to tell you about the Salvation Army. I went to Our Lady of Perpetual Help on 60th Street and 5th Avenue in Brooklyn. When I was growing up, I lived on 8th Avenue and 62nd Street. So I went to school one day. My name starts with an S. So I was seated in the last row, all the way in the back. Of course, my name started with an S. So I'm sitting there. God rest her soul. The nun's name was Sister Honorius. She asked the kids in the classroom. She said, "Is anybody hungry here?" I'm always hungry. I raised my hand, and she said, "Come up here, Josephine." I went up to the sister, and she said, "Are you hungry?" "Yes," I said, "I'm very hungry. I want to eat something. I'm very hungry." And she took my name. And of course, they have my address. So I'm still waiting for my food. Never came. I went home. That's all. I went back to school again the next day. It was on a Saturday. I'm outside playing with my friends. And all of a sudden I see this big red Salvation Army truck pull up near my apartment building, 6221 8th Avenue. So my eyes opened wide. They opened up the truck, and out comes the band, the drummer, the trumpet, beating on those drums. He had that thing around his neck, and the drum was over his waist. It was big. And they said to me, "Little girl, what's your name?" And I said, "Josephine S." They said, "Did you tell the sister in school that you were hungry?" "I certainly did." "Lead the way. Show us to your family." I was very excited. I saw these big baskets of food come out. Food and fruit and nuts. I'll never forget it, those long wooden big baskets. So I led the way, and the drums were beating boom, a boom, boom, and the hallway had an echo. So my father, God rest him, opened up the door, and he sees me with my dress up in the air, dancing in the hallway, and behind me was all the people that work for the Salvation Army with the food. So he told my father, "Excuse me, sir, lead the way, let us come in." And I'm happy, I'm dancing, I'm having a good time. I remember my brother hid behind the Christmas tree, and I think Carol, she hid under the bed. Dolores was too young, so I don't remember where she was.
And you don't know who you have to say. Those are your sisters.
Yes, my sister. Well, the older sister, she hid somewhere in the apartment. My brother, he hid behind the Christmas tree. And I sat there, and my father turned pure white. And I said, "Wow, this is great. Look at this food. My mother was shaking. Oh, they went into total shock. The Salvation Army. They gave all this food to my family.
Because they thought you were starving.
That's right.
When they said you were hungry, they thought the interpretation was you were starving.
Yeah.
But you were just hungry, meaning you wanted to have like a sandwich.
Yeah, I wanted something to eat that minute. And son of a gun, no, it didn't work out that way. I know, I looked at my father and he turned white. He was like mortified, my father. And my mother, my sister, she hid. My brother's behind the tree. The tree was shaking and rocking. Because he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't leave the tree.
So anyway, introducing the one and the only wild grandma in the house.
Wow.
To the world.
To the world.